Today, we're diving into a thrilling film, Clear Cut, with director Brian Skiba, starring Clive Standen, Tom Welling, Stephen Dorff, and Academy Award nominee Alec Baldwin. This movie takes us deep into the Pacific Northwest wilderness. Get ready for electrifying drama about one man's treacherous journey on a road to redemption. Clear Cut opens in theaters, on digital, and on demand on July 19th. Stay tuned as we explore the art of filmmaking, chat with Brian Skiba, and uncover the secrets behind the gripping thriller. Don't miss it. Congratulations with the film. I'm glad you're here. I saw it a couple of days ago and I just absolutely loved it. It was like action, like constantly on the move, So I was happy about that. And I was happy that Alec Baldwin was in it, because I'm a big fan of his. So, you
Yeah.
know, excellent movie. So Clear Cut, it takes place in the rugged landscapes of the Pacific Northwest. How did you approach capturing the natural beauty and danger of this environment on screen?
We looked at multiple locations and ended up landing in Vancouver and then ultimately across the way, over on Victoria Island and on some First Nations land. And we were invited to shoot there by the leaders, and it really worked out because it provided us with what I feel is one of the characters of the film, and really it had a great vibe and an energy to it, and that helps tell the story. And so yeah, that's where we ultimately ended up.
Yeah, so the film combines intense action with character driven moments. How did you strike a balance between adrenaline pumping sequences and developing the emotional arcs of the characters?
It's all it's pacing, and really it's I've got a lot of people I trust that I show it to, and they go, hey, here's where you can help your pacing. Here's where it feels like it kind of dulls out. And so that really helped a lot, is getting help from, the guys over at Grindstone, Barry and Andrew, and then ultimately score. I think Eva did such a great job on the score, and score is paramount to thrillers because you don't want too much, because then it becomes a music video. But you don't want too little because then it can drag the film down. So you've got to have this great balance of score. And I think she really layered it in there and gave us this kind of haunting score that carries the film at the right moments.
Oh, yeah, she definitely did a great job on it. You have an impressive ensemble cast. Amazing. How did you collaborate with these talented actors to bring their characters to life?
It came together fairly quickly. So it was like, um, it was interesting because, one of the producers, Corey Large, would come to me and he'd be like, all right, what do you think about Tom Welling? I'd be like, I love Tom Welling. Do you know him? He's like, no, and I was like, well, you think he's going to play a bad guy? I mean, and sure enough, Tom identified with the part and wanted to do something fun, and so, and then, I think the thing is, a lot of these guys I'd worked with before. And so when they got there and they saw the commitment level of Clive, and they saw the way that I worked, where, it's like I set the stage, and you bring me what you got, it allows these actors to like blossom and really put on a character that they feel they're part of. And I think that's important with acting, is allowing your actors to feel a part of what you're doing, and not necessarily just a puppet. And so that's really what's important. And it allows these guys to really put on the performances and the commitment that's needed. So,
Was it difficult to get Alec Baldwin on board, or was it easy?
wasn't difficult. He liked the part. He liked that he didn't make it till the end without too much spoilers. So, I think, And I think we got him in a time, obviously we got him in a time in his life when he was looking to, he loves his craft. I mean, he would talk theater with me. He's a sponsor of all these theatrical things and teaching acting and things like this. The guy is really, and so is his family. I've worked with his brothers, and they're just all very like, entrenched and love what they do, and their styles are very similar, and the way they build their characters and the way they work on set and everything like that is very similar. And so I feel like it was a reprieve for him, from the tragic situation that he's involved in, and so he was able to come and just enjoy a break from that, from
Course,
this.
out in the fresh air, you know?
Yeah, get him out in the fresh air and
Yeah, so that must have been a blessing. The film is a thriller filled with suspense. Can you share some insights into building tension throughout the film, especially when it's a dog and cat fight between Jack and the drug cartel?
I mean, suspense is a tricky game. I think it's a tricky game. It really is, because you think you're building suspense, and then you'll read the reviews and they're like, man, I was not suspenseful at all. And then, and then other times you think you're not doing it, and it is. And so it's a bit of a tricky game. And I think the ultimate secret to suspense is the story, is having actors who build the mystery behind the story. So if you've got an actor who's mysterious like Clive Standen, it's like, why is this 45-year-old something, working with Alec Baldwin as a greenhorn in the wilderness? And it started, if you allow the audience to start questioning motivations, that's how you build suspense. So if you question motivations throughout, you start building this suspense of, why is he doing this, or why is he doing that? Oh no, why did he, oh, what's next? And then once the snowball starts, it's easy to keep going. But if you can get that snowball going of hey, you're questioning why, why is this happening, and in a good way,
Yeah, I also loved the fact that you did a lot of the flashbacks, and it was so um like perfect timing every time you did it. So it made sense and it made the story flow better, because then I would watch it. Oh, okay, okay, that's why, So it
um,
was making sense, and it was just a great film, action packed film. And
Thank you.
even when I saw the trailer, the trailer showcases striking visuals. So, what inspired your visual approach, and how did you work with your cinematographer to achieve the film's look?
Gabe is a really close personal friend of mine. And it really was, I kind of went in because I'm a shooter as well. I shoot a lot of my own stuff, and so I had a camera on my shoulder on this film, most of the film. And so I was shooting right next to Gabe. Gabe has a bad back. So it was like Gabe was at monitors, I was shooting. And we had a couple other cameras there too. We had a steady cam and things like that. So it was great to have all these great tools. And so I would allow Gabe to light the sets, and then I would call the shots. And that's really the way it worked out. And so, but yeah, I think, action's about movement. So with movement with the camera, try to keep the camera moving, and that helps. But yeah.
Yeah. So, shooting in the forest can present unique challenges. Were there any memorable moments or obstacles that you faced while filming on location?
It's all, yeah. I think it's always like, hey, we need more batteries, and it's like, oh, it's back at the truck, oh, okay, everybody, we got 10 minutes, or we got 20 minutes. I mean, that's pretty typical. It's always back at the truck, the wardrobe's back at the truck. I think that's the challenge of shooting on location, and far away from any kind of base camp is everything's back at the truck. And so it becomes a little stressful, becomes a little frustrating, but it's something you just have to accept that, hey, not everything's going to be right there on demand, ready to go. Occasionally somebody's going to have to run to the truck. Yeah.
Any creatures of the night?
No, actually we didn't run into any creatures, unfortunately. They kept telling us there's bears out there, but I didn't see one. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay, keep an open mind with this question. Considering the environmental impact of logging, I'm curious about the sustainability practices during filming of Clear Cut. Did your team prioritize using areas where trees were already cut down, or did you find ways to minimize the impact of tree removal during production?
yeah, we did actually. I mean, that was a big thing, for sure with all of us. And it's a big thing for the industry in Vancouver. I mean, you can't cut a tree down without having a license to cut the tree down, and then you have to have a permit for that tree. I mean, it's very regulated there because it's very sustainable. They only cut swaths of land that have been previously cut and replanted. I mean, it's all they've really figured out how to make this thing work, and with the least amount of impact. And so the trees that we did cut for this film were already designated for to be cut. And then all of the trees lumber was donated to the First Nations for them to use, how they see fit. So.
Yeah, I asked because now, I read an article, I think it was like a week ago, that Hollywood is now becoming sustainable. So they're entering that field like completely 100%, and they're going to focus on. But here's the thing, I'm not sure that works 100% with independent, producers because it's even though believe me, I'm a sustainable guy. I'm an energy consultant before I got into the entertainment business, so I know a lot about it. That's why I asked because people watch your film. The first thing that comes to thought is, did they chop down the trees? you know, they don't understand the behind the scenes of it. That it's just movie magic and that,
Yeah. No, I mean the trees we did, we cut two trees down, and both of them are actually diseased trees. And it was fortunate too because we actually used it in the movie. He's like, "Oh yeah, that one's rotted." And it was like, yeah. So it worked out. And that was by design. I mean, it wasn't like we are just out there, let's cut down any tree. That's you gotta it is a sustainable
yeah.
thing.
So, last question. The film explores themes of redemption and survival. How did you weave these themes into narrative, and what message do you hope audiences take away from the film?
I mean, it was the first part. I mean, it was pretty. It's very interesting because visually, you know, Clive running and Clive hiding and everything else ties into what's going on into his mind and what he's doing, and and the journey he's on, and so I've got a lot of symbolism hidden within the film as far as, the journey he's on and what you're visually actually seeing him do. And then it starts to tie together towards the end. And all of a sudden you realize, he wasn't just on the run from these cartel guys or these drug runners. He was on the run from his past. And I think that's where the tie together comes. And then I hope the audience, it's a great thriller. I mean, that's what it is. It's a thriller piece. It's something to watch on Saturday night with some popcorn and spend a little time with your loved one or family and enjoy just a cool flick, that's kind of homage of the 90s kind of action movies where it's practical effects and it's fun. And, I mean, I'm definitely not out to win an Academy Award with this one, but I hope everybody enjoys it and has a good time. So
Sound like an old friend of mine, Ted Kotcheff. He said
yeah.
that to me a long time ago. He directed First Blood in many films, and he said to me a long time ago, "I don't make films to win awards. But if they give me an award, then I did my thing. God bless. Clear Cut will open in theaters, on digital, and on demand on July 19th. I just wish you a lot of luck and success with this film. I loved it. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. It's definitely a thriller, and Alec Baldwin and the whole cast is fabulous, and the chemistry was just excellent. So God bless, and thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.